I know I haven't posted in a while, but I wanted to make this video to share what I think a PCX rework could look like with my PCX, not PCX, with my 2011X custom figure. With this custom figure, I will be showing you guys examples of what the new abilities could do. So, let's begin with... I would mention PCX, how past found you worked, or its two iterations. So one, its first iteration or its old iteration was that PCX would teleport to the nearest player and knock them down and give 25 damage if they weren't running and knock them down too, with end lag also being on PCX's part. Now, and then the new found you would go invisible, and then boom, you would pop up again, and if you were able to hit them, then again you knock them down and they lose 25 health. Not 25 stamina, 25 health. So, how the newer PCX would work is that he would have a menu on who he would want to teleport to. This means if he wants to teleport to Dexter, boom, he teleports to Dexter. He teleport over to Noob, boom, he teleports over to Noob without having to fly up or down. Teleport over the Big Jaw, he can teleport over the Big Jaw. He additionally spawns one stud in front of you. I guess, if that's how this is translated in Roblox studs. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. So, you will have a 1.5 second window to move out of the way before he knocks you down, and again, makes you lose 25 and gives you 25 damage. So, now let's move on to... Forgot to mention that PCX found you wouldn't cost stamina, so yeah. Spin Dash would not have any cooldown, but hold on, don't get mad now that this would be overpowered, because I have a solution for it. When you use the Spin Dash, you deplete 10 stamina, which means you spin dash once, you lose 10 stamina, and PCX has 35 stamina, so you would lose 10 for each, and when you get to 5, then you would just deplete your entire stamina bar. Now, and this works like the SA1 spin dash, so in order for people to not just spam it, you can use... You only gain 5 stamina back for each hit. And so, that is Spin Dash. Let's move on to... Jump in the... Hold on. So I don't exactly need to explain jump. It's just that you get propelled forward and you jump, and if you land on a survivor, you do 25 damage. So yeah, that's it. That's essentially it. So in the newer version, you would be able to jump on a survivor. Now, when I was deciding to just have an additional homing attack that would increase the... Additionally, I was thinking that I would make something that the homing attack would make the cooldown longer for jump. However, I instead thought of another thing. So, in the classic Sonic games, you could badnik bounce if you were able to align it perfectly, you were able to bounce on a badnik. So how I would make it work is that you would be able to bounce on the survivor's head more, or not on the survivor's head, but on a survivor more than one time, with an additional homing attack that, of course, would increase the cooldown. Same with how much times you bounce on a survivor's head, which the cooldown I think is 4 or 5. 5, I think. I haven't played PCX since he got temporarily disabled. So yeah, I think it's 5, but yeah. So essentially, if you bounce on a survivor's head more than once, you'll get 10. You get 10, then 15, and the list just keeps going on. However, if you do actually manage to kill a survivor by just bouncing on their head, then all of your abilities that might be on cooldown go off of cooldown. Essentially just rewarding them for a PCX player for doing something that's extremely hard to do. And then, let's move on to the last tweak of the day. And so, in PCX's rework before You Can't Run got buffed, You Can't Run was added, and essentially it was just an ability that just turned that like did 50 damage, but on release kind of did 80, and you would just be able to, and in its buff you would be able to like turn extremely fast, and its nerf you were able to turn extremely slow, and then in the update before he got temporarily disabled, you just weren't exactly able to turn at all, and even if you were, you only turn like extremely small, like in a small amount. And I don't mean like drifting, but like you would just, but I don't mean drifting like that, but you would just like that. So yeah. Now with the You Can't Run tweak, how it would work, it would be similar to 2011X's grab from Outcome Memories. So yeah, he would be able to fly for 5 seconds. He flies for 5 seconds, and upon tapping again, you get another 5 seconds added, but when you're going extremely fast. Let me just explain it in depth. So at first you fly, like you can go up in the air and stuff, and you can fly, and then when you tap again, you get an additional 5 seconds added, but you also turn more slowly, kind of like pre overhaul update. You Can't Run. So yeah, and then you would be able to do 50 damage. So yeah, that's it. I want Pillar Chase 2 back. Also, please subscribe. Please subscribe.